That's right, folks. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out Heightened, Episode 2. Josh doesn't want to play the Joker anymore. Brought to you by Louise Brooks, 1920.
Yay,
Thanks.
Louise!
All right, yes, indeed. Oh boy, Tiki.
Poor Josh. He doesn't want to play the Joker anymore.
Poor baby.
Dragon, that's totally the tone I got from you, and I love it.
No, but seriously, I've been dying to get to this one. Heightened was mentioned by Louise Brooks. This is the one I've been dying to get to this one because I like the first one, but this one was so good. I watched this one when it first was uploaded. It was one of those videos where they uploaded and they took it off and then they re-uploaded it again to get that traffic, to get that those views up on Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, Episode 5.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really easy segue into it because obviously, basically, folks, this is kind of a bonus episode of our Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World podcast for all intents and purposes. And what is Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World? Dragon, because this is actually going to tie into the episode and people should really know if they want to listen to the podcast.
This is definitely the most literal tie-in to Episode 5 because this takes place right before Episode 5.
Oh, yeah.
So, folks, the best way of putting it, to be frank, is Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World.
Hashtag bring back Frank.
God, yes.
Go ahead.
Nick probably wrote that one. All right, but no, in all seriousness, folks, Harley Quinn Joker vs. the Real World is a show I can't recommend any more highly. It's the best way of phrasing it simply, folks, is it's the Joker that we need and deserve. It really is. Right now the Joker is a character in other media is a character that he's in kind of this transitional phase, and it's kind of getting on your last nerve. Don't get me wrong, we have a great proto setup Joker on Gotham. That's all fine and dandy, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to get an actual Joker if we're lucky at the very last episode. But still, we're not going to quite get that Joker. And on the big screen, we either have a Joker that there's not enough footage here to kind of dictate if that was an actual performance, a good performance of the Joker or not. And of course, what we have on the horizon is still just like, okay, let's do a film about the Joker, but again, kind of another proto Joker, like kind of like an origin for the Joker story. So again, it's like we're just not doing a full-fledged Joker. And folks, look no further. Harley Quinn the Joker is where you should be going. This show is absolutely like all the best qualities of the Joker that you knew, love, or grew up with. The best of kind of compilation rolled into one performance through one man, which is Joshua Thomas. And of course, not only that, you get two beloved characters for the price of none. What I mean by that is, we have Joker and Harley Quinn, and the best part of that is you can go on YouTube, check it out, specifically Episode 5, and you get those views up. And folks, what's going to happen is you're going to watch this series, this little web series. You're going to watch it. You're going to be blown away by it. I mean, the last episode, the last moment of the first episode alone. I mean, Damona B, no spoilers here. I mean, if Damona B knows this, I'm sure, but there's going to be a moment. I'm not going to tell you. Damona B will tell you gladly, I'm sure. There's a moment that's going to hook you for the rest of them. You're going to be so addicted to the series. You're like, okay, let me keep watching what happens in Episode 2. Like, oh my God, I got to see what happens next. And you're on Episode 3 and 4 and 5. And 5 left off in such a big note of like, oh my God, so many possibilities. I got to know what happens next, which leads us to the point where we're at now. And Tiki, you don't know this, but I'm going to tell you this live on air. I actually got an update from the folks at JustGiggleIt. Now, I was actually allowed a peek at the analytics for Episode 5. Episode 5, in 4 weeks, again, because of the fine people giving it the attention it deserves and folks who need those numbers to still go up, we've already attracted 21,666 views more than there were before. It was like a huge, tremendous spike from what it was.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
We're making a dent in it, folks, and folks, that's just that's like the snow on top of the iceberg. We got a lot of ground to cover. We got to get it to 1 million. Once we get it to 1 million, then we're going to get more episodes. And folks, I've seen we've all glimpsed the promised land on the community page. There are pages. They're biting at the bits to make more. Contrary to what this video is all about, they're dying to make more. Folks, trust me, we can make this happen. Let's guys, just gotta watch the episode. Even if you're not in for the show, watch it. Binge the 5 episodes. Get to episode 5, watch it, and that'll help. And you'll be appreciated.
Well,
And
you
you'll
binge the 5 episodes, then get to episode 5, then watch episode 5 again, then watch episode 5 again, and so on and so forth.
send it around to your neighbors, to your enemies, to people you don't like. Say junk mail, and they're watching. Like, oh my god, that wasn't junk mail at all. This is fantastic. I gotta see more of this. Folks, just in the end, do something beautiful. Get the views up on episode 5, and we get more Harley Quinn and the Joker, which is what you want, which is what I want, which is what Tiki wants, which is what the grand consciousness wants. Do something nice for your fellow Joker and Harley Quinn enthusiasts. Do it, please.
Oh man, that was quite a sell, Dragon.
I like to think so.
All right, let's do it. So, Heightened. So really quick, just to give the folks an abbreviated pitch on what this show is. It's essentially a meta version of the life and times of one Joshua Thomas, Piper Hinson, and company. And Dragon, this episode really ups the ante because we get all kinds of Just Giggle It in jokes and references, and we get 2 more characters introduced into this. And man, I'm really after this, honestly, like if we don't get more Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world soon, I'd love another episode of Heightened.
Absolutely. Of course, it's very kind of mockumentary-esque. It's very much kind of it's basically Just Giggle It playing a heightened. It's kind of a heightened retelling of the making of Harley Quinn and the Joker episodes here. I'm saying it's more than just Harley Quinn and the Joker, but this episode specifically is about kind of the making of the Harley.
Episode 1 was more of kind of like a day in the life sort of thing.
It was kind of a rare, awesome, hilarious glimpse at kind of the founders of Just Giggle It. Kind of our main stars that we see in almost like at least half of the videos of good old JGI. You got
an incredible horror movie type introduction by the great Alex Poncio. Not one of the few people not playing himself in this series.
Certainly. And again, I've been so in love with this concept just since the beginning because it's so fun. Admittedly, you really have to be a Just Giggle It fan to fully get everything out of this. But at least we got some good kind of honestly, I think even if you didn't know going into this, you'd still get a laugh from. But I don't think you'd quite get it. But it's delightful. So we cover a lot of ground. We get a lot of fun inside baseball to Just Giggle It here that we got for the first time when this video was uploaded. At least I learned some stuff when this thing first got uploaded. So let's just, with that said, let's just dive into it. But before we do, we should say, of course, folks, you dictate what we're covering this season. So just go to Just Giggle It, look through all the videos, whatever you'd like us to cover. Mention in the comments or the community page, Just Giggle It, and we will gleefully add it to the list of stuff to cover because we're getting towards the end of this season, but we might not be depending on how many.
If I'm wrong, Dragon, we have 2 more, right?
Essentially, yes. Rough. Yeah, 2.
Unless people suggest more, because that's how the season gets dictated, of course.
Absolutely. And also, I just saw a commenter pop up here, a newcomer, wondering what kind of channel is this? Now, I presume they're referring to Just Giggle It. Just Giggle It, of course, is this kind of the wonderkin of sketch comedy. They do it better than no one else. There's the top tier quality, not just of filmmaking. Again, like you got your shows like Harley Quinn and the Joker. You got kind of your meta shows like Heightened, but also you have kind of your emotional comedy shows such as Watching You, and of course you have just your average ordinary Just Giggle It sketch, which is a barrel full of laughs in the best possible way. Of course, there are other projects on the horizon, such as Earth's Do-Over, which of course is kind of a pilot they're workshopping right now about 2 angels trying to convince God to reboot the Earth. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun, kind of introspective comedy to be mined from that one. I'm fingers crossed. I'm very hopeful for that, starring the wonderful Emma Leonard, Australian actress extraordinaire, wonderfully talented. And Eartime Story. Yeah?
Just in case they're asking about this channel, Dragon, you don't want to discount ourselves here.
Well, Tiki, believe me, I know this person knows our channel. I mean, they should.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is it someone that we know personally?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, he knows who he is, folks. I'm not being mean. He knows who he is.
All right, I need to jump in the chat then.
Anyway, I don't think we just stop by for a cameo. I'm not. Anyway, the point is, let's just. All that said, all of our plugs said, of course, for the other, Just Giggle It, bringing back radio with the ear time stories, kind of radio podcasts. Remember the Hero, that's going to be coming up soon, and we got teased with a pilot on that. Go to the Just Giggle It Twitter page if you want to see. If you want to find that video, it's kind of unlisted right now. You find that little sneak peek. I'm sure it's going to be re-uploaded at some point. You're going to have a blast with that. Oh my god, they're bringing back radio, Tiki. Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Okay, let's get started. So, Tiki, we started YouTube headquarters.
Yeah. Sorry, kind of lost.
Well, YouTube studios, more accurately, I suppose, because I think I think it's studio space more than the actual headquarters. But it kind of could pass as either or. You never know.
Mm-hmm. So Josh is needed in makeup, and he dramatically looks at himself in the mirror, much in the same way that Dragon. I kind of liken this. Of course, this is totally unintentional, obviously, but I kind of liken it to the whole disaster artist Greg Sestero shaving his beard for The Room scenario.
Here's the thing. I'm so glad you brought that up because I think we have an even sillier version. See, that was in that movie we had the most dramatic. One of the best moments of that movie, dramatically speaking. Yet here, I think we have kind of the silly version of it here. Of like, okay, this is completely. It's like no way do we take again. It's such a kind of a really pointless gag from The Room, and add all that dramatic heft to it behind the scenes. And here we just we play it. Oh god, yes. Real quick though, I wanted to mention with the YouTube studios. What did you think of that? One, I never knew until this that YouTube had like a giant like studio they used. I had no idea.
No, I knew about that. I've known quite a bit about it. You know, I actually follow quite a few people who have kind of come and gone through that space.
That's neat. Again, so it's kind of a neat. Again, they went on location here. From what I understand, they definitely use this space. I don't know how frequently, but they've used this space. The thing I know, I can pretty much confirm, is that they use this space for like the end tags. You know, when they say subscribe, like those end tags are. I'd say there's a 9% chance that all the end tags are filmed at the YouTube studio's location, and I presume they're filming this and maybe a few other things we're not exactly privy to, which is impressive. Again, they're moving up in the world. They're shooting in the studios, and again, it's good production quality. I don't know, it's kind of neat.
All right.
Then the giant touchpad signs. I love the giant touchpad signs, like telling you who's using the studio at the moment. Like, you know, just Giggle It, 9 o'clock to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Yes, so, Josh is needing makeup.
I'm sorry, Dragon. You're gonna have to help me out with the names of the actors here. We see the well, who do we see? And then I'll set it up.
First of all, Josh is so we've established that Josh is has to shave for the Joker role, and he's basically having a Cesar Romero hesitation about shaving his facial hair to become the Joker. So,
looking out the studio, it would have kind of like a very Birdman-esque shot.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm glad we're simpatico on that.
But yeah, basically the camera angles and Josh is walking down the hallway trying to make an escape here. It almost looks identical to Birdman because the camera is constantly moving in the scenes. Kind of they got an energy up there, got attention. It's very Keaton-esque, if you will. So, or Alejandro Inarri-esque, if you want to be particular. Anyway, so we follow Joshua Thomas making for the escape as he bumps into good old Corey Oldnick. Corey Oldnick, of course, the actor who portrayed Frank in the first in a memorable first appearance.
Frank.
Oh, Frank, we hardly knew ye. Yes,
this is definitely a Just Giggle It inside baseball gag that people not in the know are going to be scratching their heads at.
And we know
who
this.
The hell is Frank, and why does this guy want to bring him back so much?
Right, now, Tiggy, we actually know the origin of this joke. Remember, it was on the live stream.
Yes, of course I remember.
That's hilarious, and I think we kind of went over that gag that they made. When we were thinking of like if we wanted to bring Frank back as like a ghost of
travel, sure,
like a Ghost of Christmas Past sort of thing when we were pitching the Christmas special initially. Anyway, but yeah, so we have Corey Oldnick, an old friend of Joshua Thomas's, and I believe we've seen Corey Oldnick's apartment. I don't know if he's changed venues or not, but we've seen kind of that location. I believe I'm trying to think if the location from Harley Quinn and the Joker and like the main condo set piece. I don't know if that was his place or not, but I know they've changed locations. So whenever again, folks, when we see more episodes, which you can make happen, then we'll see new locations.
All right.
Thought there. Yes. So anyway, so
Subtle.
Frank has his little Frank diary. By the way, I love the fact that I never caught that till the rewatch. He has
And
a
that's
little
the big
diary.
gag. The big running gag with this guy is that Frank is like, for all intents and purposes, like as a character, he has very little screen time now. As a plot device, he's pivotal to Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world.
Again,
But as a
Frank lead.
character, he's kind of a one-off.
I mean, Frank leads to the big hook of it all. He's the drama you don't expect watching a comedy video about Harley Quinn and Joker. He brings the dramatic heft, and of course, he brings the memorable hook of the first episode, which again is big and bombastic and worth checking out, folks. You get hooked and you get to episode 5. But yeah, he has the idea is Corey Olnick. He's dying to come back, no pun intended, and people have joked, especially I believe Fago Rain. Fago Rain was very insistent, like, you bring back Frank, or like,
Yep.
Basically, Corey's got a big fan base, and he was like, the idea here is like he's playing a heightened version of himself, like willing to come back and wanting to come back. But like, what if he was really incessant about it? So he keeps a little diary about all the various ways that you could feasibly bring back Frank, which I've thrown a few theories out there, by the way, in the comment of this video, the comment section of Heightened, like, so you could bring back like a nightmare thing and like the end out like a season, like kind of a big reveal arc for it. I don't know, it's a whole number of things. Anyway, you still got possibilities. They're always, if we learn nothing from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad 2, you can always bring back a character after their demise. You can always do that.
All right, so we get some great timing on this with Joshua, and he's just, oh, I'll tell you about it later, Josh. No, you won't.
I just love how adorably hopeful Corey is here, opposed to Joshua, who just wants to get out of there like there's no tomorrow. Let's see. So then Josh is making his way down the hallway, past this like little claw machine full of like YouTube stress balls or something. I don't know. And he runs into Katie Garland, or Camilla, Addison's, I believe, sorority sister or just her friend.
I think sorority sister, I want to say. Could be wrong about that. It's been a couple minutes.
Yeah, I think it's sorority sister. I'm pretty sure it's gotta be. It's anyway. So he bumps into Addison. Yeah, that's exactly. So he bumps into Camilla here, and oh god, so Katie's. I love that she plays.
Hey, Josh, is Carmela coming back for episode 5?
Folks, we know that she comes back, but again, if you're watching this episode 5, this is hilarious. Even after knowing the fact, like,
I honestly think it's more funny because we know she actually comes back.
It is, and Joshua Thomas is my favorite moment in the whole thing. Honestly,
Joshua Thomas in this whole thing. It's like he's just like, maybe in his mind he knows that she's coming back, but he's just in a bad mood and he wants to crush someone's dreams at this moment.
I love this delivery here. I love just the perfect timing on this, where he just looks at her straight in the face, and he says, but like looking at her like he's about to say yes in the most tender, loving way. Says no. Says no. And says, hey,
why?
So I love the idea, almost like the way that '60s Batman hates Chief O'Hara. I love that Joshua Thomas, in this fictionalized heightened version of Joshua Thomas, the running gag throughout this whole thing, fictional Joshua Thomas hates fictional Katie Garland. It's hilarious. So he's making his way, and thankfully Piper Henson grabs him at the last second, because I don't know if you noticed this. He was about to go through the emergency exit, which is going to sound an alarm. So thankfully she caught him.
I didn't notice that.
At just the right time. But yeah, Piper Henson grabs him. And of course, I love always how we utilize Piper Henson. One, just in general, because I think she's fantastic. Again, like, she's kind of half the magic of Just Giggle in many respects. It's kind of out of the tree, out of the holy trinity of Just Giggle. You have Joshua Thomas, Alex Poncio, and Piper Henson. Piper Henson, what she does here, I like that we convey the history, and you convey like, okay, she's the one she's the straight man who runs the ship, if you will. Like, she's the one who keeps the crazy in check. Like, she's the Kermit the Frog behind the scenes of the Muppets, if you will. So like, if he's the crazy side of Kermit, she's the controlling. Okay, we got a show to put on here side of Kermit. Anyway, so Muppet comparisons aside, it's like, no, you don't. Like, ah!
And then that leads into the intro.
Yes, and then we have the great beard intervention.
Oh God.
So Josh is in denial. He thinks, hey, it's coming in nicely. I don't want to shave my beard. Look at my beard; it's coming nice. And to me, now
I love that. He's just like, it just completely goes against the production, but he's just like, no, it's, it looks good, guys. Come on.
I forget if this predates the Cavill thing or not. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it does.
But regardless, I do love I love the fact that this is my read on it. I viewed like that beard didn't look like it was coming in good at all. It's just me, I guess. That looked as a beard, and I speak from experience, by the way. I've had so many times where beards do not come in well for me. It looked kind of like that way to me. So I love that. Can add to the sense of denial. Like, nope, not working out. It's like, and basically all because we have this pause, and they all look at each other like, okay, he's in denial. So then Josh, and here's where he handled the great trippy meta quality of Heightened that we all know and love. Here's where I love this here. So, of course, the namesake of the episode, Josh doesn't want to play the Joker anymore. Josh, he doesn't want to play the Joker because nobody knows who he is, and just it's makeup caked on. And sorry, I thought you were gonna jump in there.
No, sorry. That was bad timing.
The point is that they don't know that he's the whole show. He's the darn show, and all that. But I think this touches on the fact, and we've seen this actually happen. Now, not that he doesn't want to play the Joker, but we've seen this fun, ridiculous thing happen on live streams with Joshua Thomas, where he kind of is frustrated by, I guess, new people jumping on the show who were so enamored by the Joker performance. And again, these are people who are just kind of tuning in for Harley Quinn and Joker before anything else. And we're not faulting these people. I'm just saying that is kind of the in. That was the in for me personally. That was kind of like, through Harley Quinn and the rest of them. Some people don't make the connect that, okay, this guy who looks very similar to the Joker may not be the Joker. So people confuse the fact, like when he says, hey, do the Joker. Some people in the comment section will say, wait a minute, he's the Joker? Like they're not putting it together. And that frustrates Joshua Thomas on camera, and you can see that.
I also kind of feel like I get the vibe that Josh and company don't necessarily want the series to define the channel. Like they don't want the series to be the only, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the flagship series of the channel for sure at this point. But there's so much, as we've illustrated with this grab bag, Dragon. This is the whole point of the grab bag, is that Just Giggle It has so much more to offer than just Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. So I feel like there's some of it, you know what I mean? Some of it kind of blends into that whole thing of like, I feel like it's one of those things where like when an artist has a hit song and then everyone's just like, play Freebird, essentially,
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. I absolutely see that point. And again, I think that's some subtle commentary they worked in here. That again, they're trying. Just Giggle absolutely does other things, and they could very easily be pigeonholed. That, and again, you do have that kind of your first hit of Just Giggle It is Harley Quinn the Joker, because those are the big iconic flagship kind of. Everybody knows those two characters, and again, if people want more, they're going to be looking at the channel. And basically, it's the first taste that gets you in the Just Giggle It, essentially. That's kind of what Harley Quinn and Joker represents for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're absolutely on the money with that. I believe that to be the underlining point there too. We could be reading into it, but I really think that's on the money.
Sure.
There's also a note of, and again, this is before the kerfuffle episode 5. At least I think it is. It could have been made after episode 5. It has to be made at the same time, I imagine. But if for some reason, because we see him getting made up and everything in the makeup for the shoot. There is a chance, and this could just be kind of relative, kind of after the fact. So again, I could just be I could definitely be overreading into this. I think there's a possible note of Harley Quinn and the Joker. They love making the show, but there are these production issues, mainly the view thing that we keep trying to fix here. We need to get to 1 million views to get more episodes, and the fact that there's a want, everybody wants more episodes, and they want to make more episodes. Again, they've written out the scripts and everything, and they're dying to make it, but. Again, there's that problem of like that dip that kind of basically has hesitated, that's kind of halted the production, kind of leads to that frustration, which I think kind of fuels this video like retroactively. Like, we want more Harley Quinn and Joker yet. And it's not that anybody's unwilling. It's just the fact that, we just can't make it happen because of these.
It's almost kind of like a happy accident out of a not so great circumstance.
Yeah, I think it has to be a happy accident, right? Or I guess an unhappy accident, more accurately, but
because I feel like the whole thing about episode 5, just to kind of get into some inside baseball here, folks.
Sure.
There were some algorithm issues with episode 5, specifically with the fact that the original title was The Robbery, which did not sit well with YouTube's, like censorship. Like I don't know, Dre. It's one of those things. Like YouTube is a fine, it's a fine point. You really have to draw a fine line with content on YouTube if you really want, and of course, you know, we're looking at something like Dragon. I believe that literally none of our videos on the channel have gotten to as many views as episode 5 has at this point. So just, you know, put that in perspective, right? Like, we don't really know what the hell we're talking about, but I don't know. I've studied the big boys and I've studied patterns, and so it's, you know, but what I'm saying here is that up until episode 4 of Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, the numbers were great. And it was really just that kind of that weird faux pas of, you know, the robbery messing with the algorithm on YouTube that kind of got us into this position to begin with. So my point being, I do think it's a happy accident because of that. I don't think they were like planning on you know, halting the show and putting it in a hiatus because of a low view count.
Sure.
All right, sorry, that was a very long-winded way of me explaining my my thoughts.
All right. What happens next?
What happens next? Hold on, I've got my handwritten notes here. Oh, I believe this is where we get the great kind of meta gag where Josh kind of takes control of the writing, right?
Yes, very Looney Tunes-esque.
Yeah, he's like, look, people don't understand. I don't just play the Joker. I you know, I direct, I write the show. I'm even writing the video we're in right now. And then what happens, Dragon?
Well, one, just with that too, it feel in terms of comedy, because we like to analyze the comedy on the grab bag. It is very kind of Looney Tunes, like Daffy Duck, you know, being painted and messing with the animator.
Right.
But here's what it directly reminded me of. Every time I see this device, whether it's by, you know, Doug Walker or whoever, every time I see this device in play, I keep thinking of the new Nightmare, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, where he had Wes Craven in the movie, who's typing the movie itself. You know, I just keep thinking of that gag where it's like, okay, the writer of the movie that you're seeing is the guy in control of things. Always that horrifying reveal of, like, you know, Nancy, do you want to play again? The game's in your hand. You know, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I just love that, and again, it's a fun little meta, you know, fourth wall gag, and very indicative of Heightened, where we kind of amp things up a little as it goes on. And I mean, I'm writing this video right now, and of course, then he basically
Josh, have sex with us, Josh.
Piper Henson and Katie Garland, they're kind of basically they dialed the sexy up to 11 to play Joshua Thomas.
Piper like very quickly snaps out of it. She's like, "No, Josh, stop it."
Of course, having, you know, again, being the co-founder, being there as long as he has, maybe she's developed some sort of immunity to it. I don't know. So anyway, so she comes to her senses here, and you know, she we have this adorable line from Katie Garland here. It's like, "Hands in your keister, meester."
God.
That's cute. So Piper, she lays it out that, okay, Josh, people don't care about you. It's 100. That is 100% factual statement. Of course, she's really kind of railing in here. They love the show, and I really think it's kind of the heart of the matter here. I think at the end of the day, whatever subtext reading into it, I think this is true. You know, people love the show.
I like to think that the really in deep fans like us very much appreciate Joshua Thomas on a personal level. Like, I consider myself friends with Joshua Thomas at this point. But you know, but you know, I feel like that's just kind of like the people who are really in the know and really like follow the live streams and, you know, follow the community page and everything like that, you know. And I feel like the people that just watch the channel for Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, no shame on those people, of course. Because
we love those people. We want them to watch the show more.
Yeah, right. But you know, I feel like the surface level fans who are only after Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, you know, I absolutely understand that mindset of like, we don't care about this Joshua Thomas guy. We just want to see the Joker. Who is this Joshua Thomas guy? Why is he on all the live streams? Where's the Joker?
Wait, Joshua who?
Right. All right. Anyways.
Wait, is he the other guy with the green hair? Or is it no.
All right, so then we get an adorable little movie nerd exchange.
Yeah, so what happens here? Oh, that's great. Oh, this is delightful. So after Piper kind of lays down the law here, you know, Cordy is told to hold Josh like he's a, you know, he's a
beard, Josh. Let's put a smile on that face.
And you know,
Josh of course, is like, "Oh, good one, Piper."
Oh, before he's like, that was a really good one, Piper. Yeah, I just rewatched.
Oh, thanks. I just rewatched The Dark Knight. Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, and they're both kind of like geeking out, like, yeah. So I can't tell Josh Thomas more oh yeah, I agree with that. It's such a good movie. Or if it's more like, how have you just now rewatched it?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Dragon, like we recently did the commentary on The Dark Knight,
No,
and
no, no, no. What I mean is like maybe it's like the way that comes across. Maybe like it's the first time she's rewatched it since seeing it after roughly
oh, I got it, I got it. I
13
didn't think
years.
it that way. I didn't because I got to admit, like it's been a minute since I've rewatched The Dark Knight. It's been a good like 5 years or so,
Sure, either
if not more.
either way, but the point is like, it's like there's a unanimous like love, like, oh yeah, it's a great movie. And Corey's like in agreement. Then we have this again. Katie's killing me in this video.
I like Back to the Future.
Which is also a great movie. I like Back to the Future, and there's this great pause, and what happens, Diggy?
Josh just like whispers in the most passive aggressive tone possible. Katie, shut the fuck up. I love the delivery of that train. It just kills me. And
I just
then
like the
let's
clenched
see.
teeth and everything. Is like, dude, shut the hell.
And then Corey jumps in like, "Oh, I'm glad you mentioned Back to the Future, Katie, because the plot device I have to revive my beloved character Frank would involve time travel."
Okay, I'm gonna call Just Giggle Adamson right here. Why don't you do enough with that Corey Olnick? Now I'm saying I realize that maybe he's not around anymore in regards to like maybe he's not near the studio when they're making stuff. Maybe that's the reason. Because again, that's happened with a lot of the other Just Giggle It characters that we like. Because you gotta remember, folks, Just Giggle It's had a catalog of videos for many years, and a lot of those actors aren't kind of local anymore. Therefore, they're kind of outside the purview of like current videos. So what I'm going to call them out on this. I know there's like an archive, like various Just Giggle It videos and sketches that they're releasing in perpetuity these days. And you know what? Let's get some more Corey Olnick videos. I'm missing that Olnick boy.
All right. And of course, the whole beloved character Frank thing. Dragon, I would like to hope that that's like a direct shout out to Fago Rain.
I'd like to think so. I really. Great. And again, that did happen before.
Again, like really deep cuts. Like you wouldn't get this joke unless you were in the actual live stream listening to the chat. But we were, and so to quote Captain America, I understand that reference.
I understood that reference.
Right.
Yes. So of course, he says, "Okay, I'm just going." Basically, Corey goes back to holding him, and then of course, basically, here's where Heightened ends, and then when reality takes place here. So then Josh is about to be shaven by Piper Henson, and then of course we cut to what actually happened. At least that's my take on it. That we show the actual link up where Josh, and this is like a diversion from what we just saw, because he's in the bathroom where he started off. And he's shaving the beard, and of course putting like the shaving gel and putting like the aftershave, like Macaulay Culkin, like.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like he does like the quick Macaulay Culkin thing, and then he kind of does like a little wink and a nod to his reflection. Very much changes. A good physical comedy on Joshua Thomas in that moment.
Yeah, and then we see the makeup process, basically a time lapse of the actual makeup process in the YouTube studio, opposed to where it's usually done, where basically they do this. Here now, this was cool, and this again is something you'd only know if you really dial into it, because I don't know if you caught. It's been a while, so I don't know if you've caught this. And unfortunately, I can't place the exact video. What they do here is that I want to say it wasn't the trailer, but it might have been a Just Giggle It sketch or a commentary. I think it was it must have been the commentary to one of the Harley Quinn and Joker episodes. That's what it has to be, and I have to go back and check that out. But essentially, Josh as the Joker. He gives an update. We link and basically an update saying that they're coming back to do more. As in episode 5, they're coming back to do episode 5, and we have him in the makeup. And this clip was at the end of one of those videos. I believe at the end of the commentary, basically it's like, hey, there's going to be more coming here. Where he says, I know, you've missed me, and guess what? I'm coming back. I mean, that's great. By the way, it's been a while, and again, doing really. This was the first time we really got a glimpse of this. Just wanted to bring up real quick because again, it's been a while since we talked about Harley Quinn and Joker versus the real world. This is when they scaled down the makeup process, and we still don't know exactly why. I presume it's easier to it's an easier and faster process for Joshua Thomas, where The Joker's makeup now is just on his face. They don't go for the whole like he's white from head to toe look because they don't cover his neck in makeup anymore. You can kind of see in the image that we've used here, folks. The neck is now exposed. So again, I've always wondered if that's if that's just kind of like they're just kind of tweak, because we know they tweak the fashion sense on the show now. Like they tweak the outfits and everything, kind of upgraded the outfits and everything. I just wonder if that was for a practical purpose, like so he can move his neck without worrying about getting white makeup on everything, or if it's just for the heck of like maybe want to show the Joker's more of a human guy, but still a little otherworldly. Basically, kind of the Heath Ledger.
Be for the practical purpose of like not getting makeup everywhere, but that's just my guess.
The person, I mean, again, it adds kind of a vaguely Heath Ledger element to it, where again Heath Ledger was the make. I wonder if like directly it's supposed to be makeup, or if it's just like okay, well, it's just easier to apply. Anyway, so that said, and of course, him as the Joker, he plugs JustGiggleIt. Basically telling the tech savvy.
If I was some young, hip, tech savvy internet person, I'd be going to JustGiggleIt.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yep. That's all she wrote.
Right. Final thoughts, Dragon.
Final thoughts for me. I think this best captures the sell of Heightened. But again, I think a real JustGiggleIt fan would. I don't want to be like all snobbish when I say it. I just mean the fact.
Yeah, I know. We really have to watch our wording when we say that. Like I said, I think the phrase I would use is a real like dialed in deep cuts JustGiggleIt fan.
Yeah, if you're a deep cut JustGiggleIt fan, if you're really dialed into all of it here. I mean, if you kind of would know. There are references in this, and of course, just you
like I said, there are literally references in here that you would not get if you were not in the live stream and actively participating in the live stream chat. That's how deep cut it goes.
But the bare minimum, you should know what Harley Quinn the Joker is to really get the full extent of this. I mean, that's the basic kind of like the 101 that you kind of need on this one. You need to know that show, or else it's like, okay, so the Joker, why is Chestnut would be the Joker? It's like a side job? Is it like a restaurant gig? What's he doing?
God.
So I think someone who's dialed into the JustGiggleIt kind of fan base would fully appreciate this. However, again, I would say it is such a perfect bridge for Harley Quinn the Joker to the JustGiggleIt sketches. Because think about it, Tiki. You watch Harley Quinn the Joker, you watch this, and this would be the perfect segue to get into the JustGiggleIt sketches. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of the perfect little bridge. If you didn't know what JustGiggleIt was necessarily, this would be one of those perfect kind of like little introductory points to it, I think. Where you see, okay, the guy behind the makeup. Huzzah!
Yeah, right. All right, and yeah, just final thoughts for me, just, kind of echoing what you said, Dragon. I really think that the deep cut references, because I was like actively involved in some of the references. I appreciate them on a personal level. I do not think this is a series for everyone, but I do think for the really dialed in fan of JustGiggleIt, this is like, to me, I feel like it's just super cool that JustGiggleIt cares so much about their fan base, that they're willing to like put the time and production effort and energy into something like this, that a very select few group of people is really going to 100% be able to fully appreciate. But with that said, I mean, it does, like you said, Dragon, it does give a good kind of overview of the Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world cast and characters and family, and the dynamic of what might be going on behind the scenes. I'm still curious to see episode 3, if they ever do an episode 3 of Heightened, how they'll use Poncio again, if Poncio is going to play the same character he played in episode 1, if they're going to just introduce like, hey, look, it's my boy Poncio. Well, they're not the creepy stalker character at all, or
they've got to make it actually Poncio, because they made him look so different in that one appearance. So they gotta make him like legit Poncio. And Tiki, if they do legit Poncio, you know what I want them to do? I'm gonna throw this out there. We see how Poncio got upside down for that one video.
Oh God, yes.
It's ambitious, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be easy to shoot, but imagine how cool this would be. Just Alex just wakes up one day and he's upside down. Says, "Okay, I'm just gonna go about my day upside down." Basically, like a lot of the shots are like they have like a car upside down or something. It'd be, we do a bunch of stuff. I was like getting coffee upside down. He's doing all this stuff. He's going to see a movie upside down.
All right, Dragon, I think that's the perfect place to end this. Until next time, folks, stay tuned for another reach into the JustGiggleIt grab bag.
Upside down.
I like Back to the Future.